Śri Rāma uvacha Bhagavan atra me chitrang mahade tat prajayate Shuddhas phatika sankashas trinetras chandrasekaraha. Śri Rāma said, O Lord, having heard you declare that you are the creator of the world, a great wonder wells forth in me. You are the Lord with the moon on your crest, with 3 eyes and as radiant as a pure crystal. Murtastvang tu parichinna kriti purusha rupa drik ambaya sahito traiva ramase pramatai saha. But now you have a form with a limited stature, bearing the masculine appearance, accompanied by Mother Pārvatī, and sport here itself with your entourage of attendants. Tvang katang panchabhutadi jagade tatcharacharam tadbruhi girijakanta maite nugroho yadi. How is it that you create, protect, and dissolve the world made of the 5 elements and consisting of the animate and the inanimate? Tell me, O Beloved of Pārvatī, if you have concern for me. Shri Bhagavan uvacha Sadhu prashtang mahabhaga durgneyamam aryairapi Tat pravakshyami te bhaktya brahmacharyena suvrata parang yasyasya na yasad yena sangsara niradhe. The Lord said, Listen, Rama, high-souled warrior of noble observances. I will tell you that which is difficult to comprehend even for the gods, which can be understood only by continence and service, and through which you will cross with ease to the other shore of the sea of births and deaths. Namaste. So, we finally get past all the introductory stuff to the beginning of the real Gītā, the song of Śiva. Now, why was there like 5 chapters of introductory stuff? To set the stage, create the context for the conversation that is about to follow. Now, this is very important because, as we have said about 1,000,000 times, context creates meaning. I'll never forget, there was this one example, a long paragraph of description about something or other, like, you will need a long string. It's better outdoors or even at the beach, and so on, where the subject was never mentioned. And so it was impossible to understand the actual meaning of all this description. And finally, the title was given, one word, kite. Yes, you will need a lot of string, and it is better at the beach because the wind is consistent, and so on. So in the same way, the meaning of any word is actually determined by its context. And since words have multiple definitions, the only way there is to choose which one is applicable is by the context. So the creation of context is also the creation of meaning. And so the first 5 chapters here were about the creation of the context for Shiva's speech. He's not speaking in a vacuum. There's a pre-existing situation. Ravana has stolen Sita and fled to his castle, his fort, which is a whole island, Sri Lanka. And He's surrounded by millions of fellow demons, and they're very strong and even have magical powers and stuff like this. But Rama and his brother are the only ones who are interested really in fighting him. So what is he going to do? Well, Shiva has it all figured out. He's going to go to a certain place in the forest where there's a city full of monkeys. These aren't ordinary monkeys, because Ram Leela was, I don't know, about 1.5 million years ago in a previous yuga. And in that yuga, not only human beings, but monkeys are far more intelligent than they are today. In fact, a human being now is probably about the level of intelligence as the monkeys were then. So anyway, he's going to recruit the monkeys to fight and help him overcome Ravana. And they're going to throw mountaintops in the ocean and build a bridge. And they did. And they have. And the bridge still exists today. So this conversation is taking place in a real historical context, something that actually happened, that really existed about 1.5 million years ago. Not only that, Rama is an incarnation or expansion of Vishnu, and he's like a grandson to Shiva. They have a close family relationship. So when Rama approaches Shiva, Shiva takes him on his knee, and instructs him just like a boy. Come here, sit on my knee. Now, look, you're going to have to fight this guy. So I'm going to give you all these divine weapons. And he gives him the Pashupata arrow and so on like that. He trusts Rama. This is so important. He trusts Rama because Rama is like a family relation to him. I'll never forget my Adi Guru telling me at, I think it was 18 years of age, he became the manager of a huge factory in Kolkata, run by the Bose family. And when people asked him, well, how did you get this position? He said, it's based on trust, because my family is close to the Bose family and has been for generations. So he could be trusted with such a large responsibility, whereas someone more experienced probably could not. And it's the same thing here. Rama can be trusted to wield these weapons, accurately and properly, because he is a close relation, actually, to Shiva. So what's more than that, he asks a very deep question. Shiva, we see pictures of you with, as a great god, greater than all the others, with the moon on your head and all like this. But here you are in a human-like form, still a great form, but you are accompanied by your wife, Pārvatī, and so many attendants and soldiers and demigods and so on, in a grand assembly. So they're not just having a private talk. This is in front of all the demigods and millions, probably, of Shiva's followers, the Shiva Gana. We should understand these instructions that Shiva is about to give are not just for Rama, because Rama has already been well schooled by Vasishta in his childhood. The Yoga Vasishta scripture narrates this and how he was taught to be detached from material desires and activities and so on. As a great king in the Vedic culture, they were all taught yoga, because one has to have this yoga to be a king, a great king. Anybody can be a nasty old tyrant, but a great king who can form society so that the maximum spiritual benefit is attained by the citizens is a rare thing. Well, in these days, it's non-existent. But in those days, the kings, up to and including Lord Buddha, when he was a prince, received all this Vedic instruction, which gave them outstanding leadership skills and the intelligence to attain self-realization, even though they had to put their lives on the line fighting for the integrity of the kingdom and so on. So these instructions are not accidental. They are part of a warrior's training and the knowledge that he needs to do his job, basically, and do it well. Here in the 4th verse, Shiva calls Rama Mahabhaga, which means well-armed. He has given him all these divine weapons, even the one that's so powerful it can destroy the universe. This is very telling. He's trusted with these weapons because of his spiritual knowledge, without which he would just be an ordinary king of no real account, because then whatever he would do would be simply materialistic and easily passed over and forgotten. But no, Rama is not only a divine incarnation, he is well schooled in the arts and sciences of the Vedas and self-realization and practices them. So he is not only armed with weapons, he's armed with knowledge. And this knowledge is what enables him to be such a great king. Now, then he also says he is going to reveal the science of self-realization, the path to complete detachment from material existence. And what is material existence? Continued birth and death, samsara, the wheel of birth and death, as well known in all Eastern scriptures. Now, he says something very important. This can only be understood by celibacy and service. Actually, he uses the word radhe. Radhe means more like worship. Not only service, but service in an attitude of worship, with devotion, with bhakti, means spiritual love. So not only one has to practice celibacy, which is very important for development of the intelligence and the good brain to remember and understand all this detailed knowledge, but also to practice it with devotion. That means every day, with love. Because if a path has no heart, it's useless. It's just like, if you have a lover and there's no devotion, there's no love, it's just mechanical. What's the use of it? That's why, men who visit prostitutes and like this are really degraded, because they are uncoupling sex and love. And similarly, people who study religion without this ecstatic love of God are in the same boat. They're just going through the motions. It's mechanical. It's not real. Unfortunately, we see a lot of these types holding forth and sermonizing here on YouTube. But they're just in it for the money and the power and influence that come from being a popular teacher. So we're not like that. We don't take the role or the title of guru. We don't accept cheap disciples. If someone wanted to come here and, get a room down the street and come and do service every day for a year, then I might be tempted to, act as a guru and give them diksha and so on and so forth, and certainly instruct them, but they would have to earn it, just like I earned my diksha by leaving everything, going to India, living in the temple of my guru and serving him with faith, with devotion for, years and years. That's the criterion. So Rama has already proved himself worthy. He already got diksha, he already got the instruction and the initiation from Vasishta Muni, a very high teacher. So he's ready for Shiva's instructions. And Shiva is telling him, look, you're separated from your wife anyway. You might as well practice celibacy, because celibacy is the road to power. I can tell you from my own experience. You have to get control of your sex energy. Well, once you do, you can easily control your mind as well. And that means no extraneous thoughts, no inner yammering, inner conversation, and all of that, but just pure, clean, focused attention and consciousness on whatever work is at hand. And when applied to spiritual work, to seva and bhakti, this leads to results almost immediately. That's what we want. We want the liberation that comes from the knowledge when it's applied. And that leads to liberation from the ocean of birth and death. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Shakti Aum. Aum Namah Shivaya.